Welcome everyone, and today you join me on Monkhall fishery, and I've been on the open match on Wednesday. Now Ben's drawn me peg 1 on the hawk pool. Now this is a great peg. As you can see behind me, there's an island chuck if you need it, long reed bed down the edge, open water to fish shallow into, and it's a great looking peg. Now at the minute this lake is absolutely on fire. They're catching 350s, 380 was the record, all on this lake, catching massive bags of fish, mainly on a tactic which is quite unique. It's not really been a tactic I've known to work at this venue over the years, but shallow down the edge on pellets. So I've come on the match today and I've drawn this peg. Christian's sorted me out, my good mate. He's told me start in the bank, 12 inches deep, feeding micros a piece of corn, and then it's dead simple. 2 shallow lines, one to the left down the bank, feeding 4mm pellets, and then one into the lake, fishing 11 metres, just ticking over there. Now I'm just going to run you through my match, and what I'm going to do is run you through the 2 rigs about down the edge where I've caught best, and just have a little fish, and then we'll call it a day there. So I've started the match in the shallow water, just tight against the bank, feeding, I've lost my pot, but feeding the medium pot, Preston pot, micros nice and loose, so they come out dead fast. All I had a piece of corn on the hook, and I've caught probably 50 pound there in the first 40 minutes. Now, this is one thing I want to touch on. Normally when you're fishing in the edge or across in shallow water, when the fishing is not going to be great and it might be a harder day, what you'll find is the fish are a bit unsettled, you'll miss a lot of bites and they'll come in and you miss them. Now, with me catching 50 pound in 40 minutes just there in such shallow water, it twigged a little memory in my head of this can be actually really good today. The fish are feeding, they're not giving me problems, they're just catching them, nice and simple. And then what I've done is then I've discarded that line and I've just threw 4mm pellets there, dead aggressive, and then I've catted them at 11 metres. First up to 2 hours, 2.5 hours, the long line was really good. I've caught nice stamp F1s, the odd carp, I've had the odd hide there on pellets, but late on in the match, this down the edge line has come good. As you can see, just where I'm throwing it now, just off the reeds, in the reeds, what you'll find is the fish come up and down in the layers, and the rigs suit this. Now, I've ended the match with 416 pound, which is the venue record here. It's my biggest match weight. Personally, it was 260 before today, but I made up to catch that. I've never really had many venue records before, so it's nice to come and catch that, but to catch 400 pounds is just a special day. Like, it just seems you got to have your kit right, you set up right, but you've got to have the fish in front of you. And today I've been an absolute bungo and caught them. So what I'm going to do is run you through the 2 best rigs and where to fish them in your peg, and we're just going to have a little fish and then we'll call it a day. So the first rig, I've got 2 short kits here. Now the reason I've got short kits is I want to minimise the elastic. When you're fishing for such big weights, you want to be getting in the fishing faff. You don't want to be faffing around trying to play in for too long. You want a nice setup, nice and solid, not over complicated, not too heavy and not too soft, just in the middle. Now, so I've got my short kit. Through this, I've got the new Draw Slip 13. Since using it, I like how it powers up. I like how you can play the fish, you've got a lot of control. Now, the first rig is for catching the fish when they're sticking their heads out into the grass, eating the pellets which you've thrown in there. If you haven't seen this before, it's called sucking in the grass, and what it is the fish come out, they're eating the pellets that are all stuck in the reeds and stuff like that, and then you need a shallow rig to catch them. So for this I've got 019 mainline, just a dead ship dibber, 4x10, set it about 8 inches deep, bulk on the hook length, 2-inch hook length, and I've got 013, a GPM to a banded hook, and either I'll be putting on a fishery 4mm pellet, a 6mm pellet, or a red 4 or 6mm pellet. Now that's perfect for when the fish are coming dead high in the water, sucking out the grass. You can catch them when you can see them. But to be honest, the best rig it's been today, that's been really good. Say like now there's a fish there sucking in the grass, but today the best depth has been between 16 and 12 inches, which may seem mad. You can't see the fish, but when the fish are feeding dead aggressive, they'll sit down your peg, they'll be eating your bait, and they'll be sitting in your peg eating it. So The rig, same elastic again, 13 Jura slip, same main line, 019. Now I've got a 4x8 F1 sheller down to just a bulk. I've got two number 10s there, and then I've got a little number 12 trimmer down to a 3-inch, same hook and everything, 013, GPM 16. Now this is nice and balanced. I'm not going to pull out a fish, I'm not going to bump them, it's not going to take me ages to land them. You'll see when I get fishing, you just want it nice and controlled, you don't want it too much. So all I've got is fishery 4mm pellets. I've fed quite a few pellets today, 5 or 6 bags of fishery pellets, but you're going to get through when you're feeding 2 shallow lines. But late on, that edge line's been the best line, so all I do is just keep chucking them in there. Quite aggressive, I'd say 20 pellets twice, get them fish in your peg eating. And then we spoke about it before, I've just got my trusty tub here, I'll just get it for 1 sec now, of 4s, 6s, red ones, just there, just a little change up bait. But best one today has just been a little Robin Red in size 4mm. Now we've caught a lot of carp down the edge shallow, so 4mm may seem a small bait for the carp, but they're just intercepting the bait. So all I'm going to do now is spin round, catch you a few fish, talk you through it, and then we'll call it a day. The box now, spun round, we're going to fish down this left edge, just see. So first of all, you just want to prime it. Ideally you want some in the open water, some in the grass, you can get some fish in the peg. Now I'm looking there and there's not any fish sticking their heads out, so I'm not going to, basically you're mugging them, they're coming out the water, just drop it in front of them and they have it, but there's none there. So what we're going to do is going to fish 16-inch deep, just a fishery pellet on the hook. Now when you're trying to catch a big weight, you want to try and catch them short as you can. Now this is just a short stop, a short number 3 and a number 4 section, so nice and easy. It'd probably be a top 4 if you had a normal top kit on and just one section of your pole. Now ideally what you want to do is you want to feed your bait. Now when you've hooked one, just feed there, regroup them. You can see how black it's been today, but these are the stamp of fish. You see how nice and controlled, it's not taking me everywhere. Use the puller, nice and steady. One mistake people can make when trying to catch big weights is try and go too fast. You've got 3-4 pound fish in the end here, you don't want to be bullying and rushing them, you just want to take your time, nice and easy. You've got your landing net at 2.6 metres, so it's nice and short. You net them fish with the short kit, you come up dead close. Now, a bit lively still. Try and hold them up for you. This is the stamp of fish you've been catching today. And you see how you can build a weight fast. 3 pound carp, just on pellet shallow, you just catch them dead quick. See how easy it was, you can do it. It's all about being nice and controlled. So we're going to have a go again. Pull the bulk down, make sure it's right depth. Now one thing you want to do is, when you put your pole together, you want to slap your rig in, feed your bait. I don't want to take it on the drop then. Feed your bait, feed again, see? Because you're fishing so short, you can see how fast and effective you can be with the fishing. But like I said, nice and controlled now. You can see me elastic. It's not bottoming me out, running me into the aerator. I'm not going to ping out of it. I'm just going to keep it nice and steady. Feels like another carp. Get me under the pallet. You just want to be nice and controlled. If you need a few more, pull out, but it's even bigger this one I think. But they're absolute great weight builders. You can catch them so fast, so short. This lake is really on fire at the minute. Ooh. They are hard fighting fish though, but if you had too soft elastic on, you'd lose them because they'd bottom you out and you'd be pulling too hard. But if you had too heavy elastic on, you'd bump them. nicely hooked. As you can see, when you get in one of them a chuck, you can see why you can do massive weights on this lake. It's a fantastic fishery Ben's got here. I love coming here. It's crazy to think, like, last time I drew this peg it was in winter and I had 60 pound of hides. You can just see how many different fish in here, how many fish are in here. It's just a fantastic venue. We always love coming. Great matches. And to be honest, I'm just buzzing I've done my PB. But what a crazy weight that is. Ridiculous weight. So we'll just catch one more and then we'll call it a day, because I think we're going to get absolutely soaked. So same again, it's just the mini process I always talk about. Slap your rig in, make sure you group your bait dead tight, lift it into my feed there. Now if the fish were coming into the bank sucking, I'd come back, change my rig and try and nick them fish. But to be honest, this has been the best way to catch them today. Just slightly off the bank, off the reed line, say a foot, 10 inches, just fishing that bit deeper. Constantly loose feeding. There you go, there's the last fish of the session, or the little video we'll call it. But you can see you got to keep feeding regular, keep them fish coming in. Don't be too frightened if you're fishing and see one come in the bank eating the pellets, just to come back and change your rig. Normally when the fish are in the bank eating out the bank, they're a lot bigger, and if you can catch a bigger stamp fish, then it just makes it easier building your weight faster. But there you go, another carp, 2.5 pound, fantastic sport. So there you go, just a little rundown of how I broke the venue record. Just had a lovely day and catching carp like this. So just remember the little tips. Make sure your gear's balanced, not too heavy, not too soft. You've got a sturdy hook length of 0.13 on, and you're nice and accurate when you're fishing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like it. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and then I'll see you on the bank soon. Cheers.